What's up, everyone? Blackout Tuesday doesn't mean we get to stop doing the work, so I wanted to hop on here and offer a little bit of philosophical insight on the difference between non-racism and anti-racism. Blackout, don't back out, right? So, as the all-powerful Angela Davis once said, in a racist society, it's not enough to not be racist, you have to be anti-racist. But what's the difference between both? Well, non-racist is exactly just that. It's you denying that you're a racist. It's the minimum requirement for being a decent human being. It's just like not being a murderer, not being a rapist, not being sexist. Those are all minimum requirements for being a decent person. Anti-racism takes it one step further, and it's an incredibly difficult step to take because it requires that you do a lot of work. It basically requires that you educate yourself, that you educate others around you, that you check your own biases and privileges, the biases and privileges of those around you as well, whether they be in the form of blatant ignorance or microaggressions. It requires that you reach out and get in touch and understand oppressed communities, whether they be people of color, Black communities, Indigenous communities, and understand the historical context that has led them to be where they are today, and understanding how the impact of colonialism has had on those communities. So it's an incredibly difficult task to do, not just because the amount of time and resources required to educate yourself, but also because of the difficult conversations that you have to have with yourself as well as other people. So whenever these situations seem to arise, I always butt heads with people, whether they be friends or family, and we get into a lot of disagreements and heated debates on this. I'm trying to approach this from the point of view of someone who has sat down and listened to Black and Indigenous leaders, people of color, and listened to not just their stories, but also their specialization in that area, and understanding how the history of colonialism has unfolded and the impact it's had on the world today. So I'm not just trying to speak from my own head. I'm trying to communicate the information that's been communicated to me by people who are much smarter and know a lot more about those subjects than me. And when it comes to some of those things, I'm still very stupid and ignorant, and I'm trying to do my best to learn more and help to disseminate that information and lend support to those communities as much as possible. So that's why it's an incredibly difficult step to take. All of these, the time and resources involved in it, but also the difficult conversations that you must have. I know a lot of white people who tell me that they are not racist, and they'll post pictures of solidarity and whatnot, just like the black square. But then when this is all done, they're going to back out and pretend like someone else is going to take care of it. They're afraid to have those difficult conversations because they're with people in their families, their close family and friends, and they don't want to stir the boat. Let me tell you something. Racism is never going to go away if you keep doing that. Okay? And I know some people say, well, it's different where we are now. There's a lot less racism than there was before. Maybe, or maybe it's just a lot more covert than it was. It's the same thing as cancer. A little bit of cancer is not better than a lot of cancer. You know what's better than a little bit of cancer? No cancer. What this basically means is we have a chance to become more active and educate ourselves and others around us and develop the proper policies to engage with these issues. All right? Hopefully that helps clear out some of the air. I'll be back on with some more stuff and to lend more support and insight to the whole cause. Stay safe. Peace.